Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which makes crypto investing easy. I've been using this platform since 2017. They're one of my go-to exchanges. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. You can also buy and sell equities and precious metals on Uphold. As with all exchanges, you can buy and sell on them, but I highly recommend you custody your own crypto, not your keys, not your coins. If you'd like to learn more about Uphold, please visit the link in the description. All right, my friends, we got huge news around Goldman Sachs and crypto. Goldman Sachs continues to invest and build in the crypto industry. And this should come as no surprise. All the big banks and stock exchanges and financial institutions are doing the same. Everyone is headed in the same direction, and that is building an adoption of this technology. It is here to stay, despite the bear markets, despite the collapses and so forth. Smart money knows from the macro perspective, this is the future. This is the next layer on top of the internet. So here's the headline. Goldman Sachs tokenization platform called GSDAP, leveraging DAML, goes live. So Goldman Sachs has launched a tokenization platform, and we've talked about it on this podcast. The token economy is coming. Everything on the blockchain. Securities, commodities, assets, you name it, right? Real estate, stocks, everything on the blockchain. Even the central banks are putting fiat currencies on the blockchain called CBDCs. And that means 24/7 trading, global markets. There's not going to be an opening and closing bell like the stock market. The future will be 24/7 trading, my friends, and more verifiable, more accuracy, faster movement of money, and you'll be able to settle transactions instantly and so forth. That's what's coming because of blockchains. And we know that there's different blockchains out there and different companies are building on different ones, right? Like the Algorand blockchain, Cardano, Ethereum, XRP Ledger. And this is where I've talked about, as those blockchains get adopted, the native assets on those blockchains will increase in value. And that's the bet we're looking to take right now, right? To diversify, make sure we invest in good projects that are getting adoptions and partnerships. Like, I've been really bullish on Polygon Matic recently. So I'm adding Matic to my portfolio. So we're just seeing the growing adoption of crypto tech by banks, stocks, institutions, and stock markets and institutions. Now, before I go into the details of this tokenization platform, I want to just highlight what Goldman Sachs has been doing just over the past 6 months, right? Because they've been dabbling in crypto for years now. But let me just share some headlines from just the past 6 months. December 6, 2022, Goldman Sachs on hunt for bargain crypto firms after FTX fiasco. After a collapse, when there's blood on the streets, that's when smart money comes in, scoop up those companies at low valuations, expand their services and solutions. Smart move by Goldman Sachs. We've seen it time and time again in different bear markets. Here's a headline from November 3rd, 2022. Goldman Sachs seeks to impose order on expanding crypto universe with classification system. So what was this? This is, they were set to unveil a data service created with global index provider MSCI and crypto data firm Coinmetrics that seeks to classify hundreds of digital coins and tokens so institutional investors can make sense of the new asset class. So Goldman Sachs helping to set up the infrastructure to help institutional investors be able to track and better have data and analytics around crypto and the different coins, because there's a lot of them, right? So clear example, Goldman Sachs making investments. Okay, let's continue. March 21st, 2022, Goldman Sachs and Galaxy Digital, this is Mike Novogratz, announced milestone over-the-counter crypto trade. Goldman is the first major U.S. bank to trade crypto over the counter. CNBC was the first to report. The bank traded a Bitcoin-linked instrument called non-deliverable option with crypto merchant bank Galaxy Digital, the firms said. See, my friends? See what's happening? Okay, final one here. And once again, we're not going to go back years and years, but this is from May 16th, 2022. Goldman Sachs and Barclays invest in UK crypto trading platform Elwood. The global head of digital assets for Goldman Sachs said the demand for cryptocurrency from institutions is rising, and the firm has been actively broadening its market capabilities to cater to that demand. And once again, this was happening in the bear market as the price was tumbling down all of last year. Right, guys? We saw massive drops. We saw big collapses last year. Celsius, FTX, Voyager, Terra Luna, and 3 Arrows Capital. Yet, Goldman Sachs, right, the largest investment bank in the world, was investing and building. And today, the news of this tokenization platform is pretty exciting. So let's go through the details. Goldman Sachs recently announced that the bank's new digital asset platform, GSDAP, is live 1 year into their engagement of digital asset. It says here, GSDAP is developed on top of digital assets DAML smart contract language and Canton, its privacy-enabled blockchain. DAML-based tokenization platforms such as GSDAP capture the full complexity of rights, obligations, and cash flows throughout the life cycles of assets. They also can make the digital representation and workflow accessible and fully automatable across distributed, interconnected ecosystems of participants. Additionally, digital assets ensures that the data is only shared with entitled stakeholders with its privacy protocols while supporting the scalability necessary to connect assets globally. Here's a quote from Matthew McDermott, global head of digital assets at Goldman Sachs. Our goal from the outset has been to help our clients realize the benefits of end-to-end digital lifecycle processing across tokenized assets, digital currencies, and other financial instruments. This is amazing news, my friends. And look when it's happening, right? In the macro bear market, not just the crypto bear market, but the macro bear market of all assets being down, the Fed fighting inflation. But these guys don't care. They know it's all cycles. We go through the bear and then we'll go back to bull and then it'll be another bear market. It's all cycles. And when you learn that, and you'll know how to invest and how to make money in the markets, guys, because people get scared by the words and the sensationalism from the media. Oh, no, recession. Oh, no, it's the end of the world, right? No, it's not. It's just markets correcting. Nothing goes up forever in a straight line. You have your bull markets, you have your bear markets, you have your bull markets, you have your... That is the cycle. Go look at it throughout history. Remember people were saying it was the end of the world in the 2008 crash. That was so bad, right? Yes, it was bad. And yes, it could have hurt the economy really bad, but the world didn't end. Because guess what? Civilization still needs to continue. Governments will still continue to print money and help the economies, because if they don't, they will have people rebelling in the streets. You're going to have rioting and so forth, right? That will be the collapse of civilization. So don't be afraid of sensationalized headlines, and you got to leave your emotions at the door and look at the data and look at who's investing and who's building. Look at the charts. So really big news here, my friends. Very bullish. Now let's move ahead. We got some news here from Stuart Alderoty, general counsel at Ripple. He laid out a few thoughts in a Fortune magazine article on the need for congressional oversight of the SEC after the recent collapses of BlockFi and FTX, among others. So we're starting to see, once again, the narrative forming of the SEC needs to be held accountable. Gary Gensler, you met with the FTX officials and Sam Bankman-Fried. Why didn't you do your investigations? You claim to be the cop on the beat. Completely failed. Gary failed in capturing or stopping Celsius, 3 Arrows Capital, Terra Luna, Voyager, BlockFi, FTX, and so forth. Yet the highlight of 2022 for him was Kim Kardashian. Thanks for protecting us from Kim Kardashian, Gary. So, Stuart outlines all his thoughts in this article. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but of course we know the Ripple lawsuit is happening right now, and we'll see what the outcome is for this. I am optimistic. I believe Ripple can win this, but let's see how things play out. Now, Brad Garlinghouse retweeted that article from Stuart and said, I know some may forget this fact from time to time, but as Stuart Alderoty so eloquently said, the SEC can only exercise the authority expressly granted to it by Congress. And recently I shared with you guys, I think it was just earlier this week, where we saw members of Congress, or those who are specifically part of the House Financial Committee, were just sworn into the new Congress. They are looking to get Gary Gensler in to get grilled, right? They're going to question him. So I had interviewed Congressman Bill Huizenga, who's part of that committee, and they're going to bring him in, and we're going to see what information they can get out of this whole debacle with FTX and what the SEC was doing and why they didn't catch this. Now, speaking of crypto regulations, Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, he tweeted out the following article, and he said, great leadership from UK Minister Andrew Griffith, who yesterday told MPs that he still wants the UK to become a crypto hub despite FTX collapse. Brian said the UK is well-regulated, technologically advanced financial hub, and there remains a place for crypto assets within this. Impressive long-term thinking. Brian said, I think we'll see every other major financial hub follow suit. He's absolutely right. It's just a matter of time for these different countries to start setting the regulations up and put them in a proper place to let innovation flourish, but also protect consumers. Because look, scammers and bad actors come into every technology and asset and look to exploit them, right? And right now, the U.S. It's looking for that comprehensive regulations. It's not there. And last year was a clear example how the SEC failed. There's no clarity on what is a security and what is not. The only Bitcoin and Ethereum so far have gotten some clarity. And Ethereum, you can say it got some pseudo clarity because Bill Hinman, and we know the whole story there, he said Ethereum is not a security, but Gary Gensler won't repeat those statements. He will not say that Ethereum is not a security. So we're in limbo right now. And entrepreneurs and innovators are in limbo. Like, what do we do? Do we come to the US? Do we leave the US? What are we going to do, right? And this is the situation. Now, the UK does have comprehensive regulations. They treat many of the altcoins and so forth as virtual currencies, and you can build and use them and so forth. It's just the United States. It's a big pain. So the article here is titled UK Commits to Becoming Global Crypto Hub Despite FTX Collapse. It's being reported here by Yahoo, and talks about the Andrew Griffith and what his statements are and so on and so forth. Once again, I'm not going to read through the whole article. You guys can check it out. But I think some flags, some stakes are being put into the ground here. And the UK, obviously one of the world leaders, so to speak. And I hope the US can get it right this year. And we'll see what happens. Now, some interesting developments around FTX, my friends. There's reports coming out that FTX has recovered over $5 billion or more than $5 million in different assets, not including another $425 million in crypto held by the Bahamas. A bankruptcy attorney said during a hearing Wednesday, FTX's total liabilities range from $10 billion to $13 billion, meaning creditors could recover around 40%. Now, here's the thing. Some folks are calling this out like this sounds like BS. So director Connor Rogan, who's a director at Coinbase, he said $5 billion ? I went through every wallet I can find that the FTX estate owns. Biggest positions include $700 million of Solana, most of which are locked, so not sure why they would count it. $575 million of FTT, $371 million of MAPS. I'm not sure what that is. And there's some token here. $127 million of OXY, $90 million of Wrapped BTC, $82 million of Bona, $500 million in other random SPL tokens. So he said, my simple model is that the estate wants a win and good publicity to talk through all the progress they've made. In my opinion, this $5 billion number vastly overstates what they could sell in an open market and improperly sets credit expectations of a high percentage of asset recovery. He's absolutely right. Who the hell is going to want to buy FTT at this point? Not me. I would not touch that thing at all. It's, once again, directly correlated to the exchange FTX, right? It's not like it had some special utility outside. Like I would at least give credit to Solana, because Solana existed outside of the FTX realm, and it was getting adoption and so forth. But he's absolutely right. This is vastly overstated. And it just looks like some PR bullshit, right? That they're trying to say, oh, yeah, we recovered this amount of money. No, you didn't. It's not even liquid. Some of it is locked, and some of it is just bullshit, like FTT, right? If somebody decides to invest in FTT, farewell and adieu to you and your money. I would not touch that at all. I would, like I said, touch like Solana, sure, because that exists outside of FTX, but not FTT, not at all. Anyway, guys, that's the news. What do you think about this Goldman Sachs news? I think it's pretty big. It's in addition to what they've been doing over the years, all the investments they've been making. And I'm excited for the future of this market. I think once we get through this bear market, my friends, it's going to be fireworks again. And we're going to see more adoption than we've ever seen before, more bigger players coming in, more capital. And, hopefully the U.S. can get the regulations right, balanced regulations that will allow more capital flow into the asset class. And we get this thing to a new heights and more adoption. Anyway, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share the podcast, and I'll talk to you all later.